So find your way to a comfortable posture and spread your awareness throughout the whole body. And as we sit, we are heeding the call of the Buddha. We're sort of responding to this call to arms. A call to arms against the defilements of our own mind. And we're being called to this moment in whatever form it takes. We're being called to listen to our own hearts. We're being called to be mindful, to gather ourselves, collect ourselves. So we can think of this practice of dhamma and meditation as responding to this call that comes from the Buddha, who taught 2,500 years ago. And also the call from the inner Buddha, from our true nature, from the depths of our own beings. And when you think of it in this way, there's such a sincerity to practice. Some days we have to kind of force ourselves onto the meditation cushion. But even then, to consider that we're listening to a call to arms from our own hearts, that somehow this is what we're here to do. And in the suttas, they say when someone attains nibbana or enlightenment, it said, done what was to be done. So when we practice, we're doing what is to be done. So can you feel that? It's like right away, can we step outside the pattern thinking, the to-do list, the expectation that this sit will be this way or another? Can we step out of that and sort of step into just a real sincerity of heart that we really want to be here? It's we could be anywhere at all, but we're choosing to be here. So can we bring that feeling to the practice? I really want to be here. This is where I am. It's like a great warrior who's standing guard at the gates of the most precious kingdom, most precious treasure in the world, and even if that warrior has to go do this day in and day out, it's like we want that warrior to be really sincere, to be really present, to be watchful, collected, strong. So in your practice, spread your awareness throughout your whole body and open your heart to the way it is. Letting go of whatever does not belong, letting go of what is not helpful, letting go of the clinging. And see how this sincerity of heart and how this genuine feeling of, really genuinely wanting to be here. See how this brings samadhi, or a coming together of the spirit. There's a natural cooling and refreshment that comes through this sincerity of heart. So we can drink from this. I like the image. One image that's been coming to me of samadhi, it's like as if there's a well in your body, deep within. Not so much in your sort of organs or blood or anything, but in your energetic body. And we can, you know, sort of send the bucket down deep into this well and pull up this cool, refreshing water to the surface. And we're sort of bathing in that water, purifying the body, letting the whole body drench and soak in this heavenly water deep from within our being. So when you look at the body, when you spread your awareness throughout the whole body, you can try to not just expect it to be one way or another. And in particular, You don't need to expect that it'll be the way that it's always been. You can open your heart with such a curiosity to the body, and the body starts to become what Ajahn Mun calls a cave of wonders. And Samadhi and jhana, these sort of deep meditative territories that are characterized by bliss and wellness. Samadhi and jhana, they're talked about by many teachers in many different ways. So samadhi and jhana are talked about in many different ways by different teachers, and um, this is because, in my opinion, this is because it's a personal thing. The practice is deeply personal, so we can experience these meditative territories in different ways. Um, and in part because of this, I personally really appreciate and gravitate towards descriptions of samadhi and jhana that are more broad, and particularly the similes that many teachers have given. Some of the more technical descriptions I think are really helpful to learn, super helpful to learn actually. But I really like the similes because they're less detailed, they're less prescriptive. So it kind of gives you more freedom, more authority to see for yourself. So this image of the well from within you, it's just a simile that feels right to me, from my own practice. And also the image of the cave of wonders, which Ajahn Mun gives for mindfulness of the body. He says it's a cave of wonders, and you can step to it and gaze in awe. So this points to there's something here in the body that is wonderful, awe-inspiring, not boring. So sometimes the mind, it comes to the body, we draw it to the body, and then it kind of feels dull, like there's nothing much happening here. So then the mind zips out and starts thinking something. So here we just kind of gently remind the mind that there is something here in the body worth paying attention to. Keep looking, keep feeling with an open heart, and treasures will come. And I want to mention now the simile that the Buddha gives for the second jhana. And just let this image speak to you in your body, in your chitta, your heart. Really feel the beauty of it. And I'm picking this one. Of course, it's a simile for the second jhana, which is a particular stage of samadhi, or particular sort of realm of deep meditation and experience. But in a way, it's a good simile for samadhi as a whole. And I know that's not an extremely precise statement, but kind of in a simple way, it serves as a good simile, at least in my opinion right now. So this is the image. It's that of a great lake surrounded by mountains to the east, the west, the north, and the south. So no rivers can come. No rivers come and bring water to the lake. And yet there's this cool water that wells up from underneath the lake. So not from outside, but from underneath, from deep within the lake, this cool water wells up. Suffusing, permeating the whole lake until all of its water is cool, refreshing. And you can imagine this simile was given by the Buddha 2,500 years ago in India in a very warm climate, a hot climate, no air conditioning. There's a little bit more to the simile in the suttas, but for today, I think this image, as it's been stated, suffices. So, in this practice of deep meditation, of samadhi, we don't need external rivers. We don't need anything outside of us at all. We don't need to get what we want. We don't need things to go our way. We don't need to win. We don't need to gain. We don't need any of that. So that's us putting up these mountain ranges. We're saying that whatever is out there, it doesn't matter. We feel protected and safe in and of ourselves because these mountain ranges are there. And so the mind isn't going out there. There's nothing out there for the mind. It comes back home to this body, this lake. And then we can notice how there's an upwelling of cool, pure water from deep within. The mind that is at peace, it's not fighting, not clinging, not being swept up by the hindrances. Mind that's resting in and of itself. It gives rise to this cool water, this samadhi water. Natural, innate, joyful, pleasurable, blissful. And it's not coming from anything outside of you. The whole of the path, the Buddha, the Dhamma, all of it, it's within you. It's not some foreign thing you need to figure out how to get. You already know. It's already here.